Wow, I was really hoping one of those ones before me would be a lot less eloquent, but anyway. Hello, everyone. I see a lot of familiar and unfamiliar faces here today, and I honestly don't know which is making me more anxious at this moment, but hello. At the risk of starting my speech with a line that would be flagged by Turnitin.com for plagiarism, I just want to direct a huge thank you to the faculty and staff here who play the most essential role in keeping this school going and in getting us here to this literal and figurative stage. Yeah. I actually really went back and forth on whether or not to include those words of gratitude in my speech, since it meant quickly reaching my quota for overused speech phrases. But I figured it was worth the sacrifice to acknowledge some of my favorite people. So shout out to Albert and some of the office crew. Woo! Better shout out than the faculty, I see. And while I'm at shouting out people, obviously a huge thank you to my family who trekked out here today. We may not be the most traditional family, but I don't know what I would do without you all. Anyway, as many of my friends would know, I really struggled to put pen to paper for this speech and spent most of my weeks past collecting random thoughts in my notes app, writing down the various words or phrases that would pop into my mind at the most random moments, like after watching a particularly inspiring TikTok or immediately after waking up from some strange dream. But if any of you are familiar with that 2-minute window right after taking a nap, where all of a sudden you have a million words to say, all of which sound immensely important and extraordinarily elegant in the moment, then you would know that by the end of those weeks, I had little more than a series of meaningless cliches. Silly little sentence fragments such as, "We must take these words to heart," what words I was referring to neither you nor I will ever know, or "insert joke about Legally Blonde," or Spider-Man quote. But the most cliche and greeting card line of them all was, "We don't just build buildings, we build lives." Clearly, this line was unfit for my final draft due to it simultaneously being applicable to less than half the audience here and also being frankly embarrassing. But its sentiment remained, because no matter your major, no matter whether you spent your last few years performing, painting, designing, dancing, dreaming, we are in fact all quite similar, united in our thirst to create and produce things and moments that ask the creator and their audiences to fundamentally question the way things are and the way we think. We are a school concerned first and foremost with people, with how they move, how they breathe, how they experience the world around them. To quote the main page of the school's website, we are fueled by our unwavering belief in the fundamental value of creativity and the artist's unique ability to change the world and shape the future. Standing at this university among a bunch of creative types, I feel I don't really need to convince anyone of the importance of this time, and truthfully, I don't know if I'm capable of capturing how devastating and horrible and scary this moment is, certainly not as well as the last graduate speaker. But what I can do is remind all of us, myself included, of the role that we play in shaping this world and the agency that we are fortunate enough to retain. We do not and have never lived in a world where we can afford to be neutral. These past years, and especially the last few months, even weeks, even days, have exposed that there's simply too much at stake and too many lives hanging in the balance to be casual in our convictions. And having grown to know many of my fellow graduates here, both undergrad and grad, I know that we have simply too much to offer this world, too much potential to be squandered by passivity. You know, it's funny, an architect I once met told me that creators are infamous for maintaining a sense of superiority, for being in a field so unique, so at the forefront of change, while also being perpetually tortured by the insecurity that their works will never be that of the greats, or that they will never have the influence to change the world. And really, it is quite impossible to tell someone with complete certainty that all they need to do is try and things will change, despite the opposition of massive institutions and generational biases at a global and national scale. But also, I want to point out that we have risen to the occasion countless times already, whether it be staying up till 6 a.m. to finish a project, or coming to a desk straight from urgent care, or even just being here graduating despite the thousands of crazy things that have happened these past 4 years. This may be that aforementioned superiority complex kicking in, but I think we have already proven our ability to persevere and to accomplish great things. These may seem like small achievements in retrospect, but anyone who has ever spent a significant time browsing Pinterest quotes knows that life is nothing but more than a collection of these minute milestones. And to that end, what does it mean to change the world? Because while I don't think designing something as small as a campus coffee shop would have seemed life-changing to the original architect, Jimmy's certainly changed my life once or twice these past years. So forgive me if I fall back into cheesy territory here, if I ever escaped it, when I say that we must go forth into the world and into the next stages of our lives with the full conviction that we creatives do have the capability to do extraordinary things and to bring real, significant change. I urge us all to approach every project, every performance, every task as an argument on behalf of who you are and what you believe our world should look like. And I will leave you all with this one final cliche. Be bold in voicing your opinions, engage in those daunting dialogues, and fight endlessly for what you believe in, because life is simply too short and people too important to hide behind neutrality. Thank you so much, and congratulations to the beautiful, amazing class of 2025.